Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gwen. Today I have some beautiful Christmas in July DIYs I want to share with you. Now let's get started. This first DIY, we're going to use these three really pretty vases that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just covering them in Mod Podge. And it looks like I'm using a lot, and I guess I really am because I'm trying to get the Mod Podge in all those little crevices of the vase to make sure that my Epsom salt is going to stick. And then after I cover it in the Mod Podge, I'm just going to roll it in the Epsom salt there in my tray. And I'm using this Epsom salt from the Dollar Tree because it's all that I had on hand when I started this project. But if you can get Epsom salt from Walmart, I would highly advise using that because it's a much finer grain, and this is kind of chunky. And to me, the Walmart Epsom salt just gives a much prettier frosted look on your glass. This still came out really pretty, but I just prefer the finer grain. This project does get a little messy, so you might want to make sure you have some paper down to catch all the extra Epsom salt that's going to fall off. And after I let this dry overnight, I went back and added a second layer of Mod Podge to the top just to kind of help with some of the fallout. And I love these vases. I think they're so pretty. I'm just taking some jute twine from the Dollar Tree and just wrapping around the neck of the vase. If you don't want to use jute twine, you can use ribbon, or you don't have to use anything at all, but I'm going for that farmhouse look. I'm going to use a pick that I had left over from last Christmas. And fortunately, because I never seem to get all of my Christmas decorations put up in the attic, each year I had some of these left over. And these came from Amazon, and if I can find them on Amazon, I will link them down below. And I just clipped it apart, and then I'm just going to hot glue it to the front of my vase. If you're like me and all of your Christmas decorations are packed away in your attic, then for the most part I just pulled things that I could from around the house, and like I said, I just happened to not have packed these away last December. Well, actually it's more like January because I keep my Christmas decorations up for forever. And the little pine cones that's in the tray there in the little greenery, I found those at the Dollar Tree back in the early spring, and I bought several packages of them. And I'm really glad that I did because it's helping me in my little DIY here. But I tried to use things that you can find easily. I did pick up some berries from Hobby Lobby a couple of weeks ago because they did not have very much out at the time. So hopefully you'll be able to find things or around your home, or find some. Hobby Lobby should have more items out now that you could use if you want to get started on your Christmas decorations early.
I'm walking around feeling free, Thinking about what's happened to me from July up till now. Don't know where, don't know how. Lately I've come to realize that I can see it in your eyes. So it's true, I'm so glad you feel it too. Nothing to hide, falling in love. To me it's perfectly clear, we're falling in love. It's true, this part of the year has something in store for us. We're falling in love. Summer ended, but we did not.
I just think these turned out so pretty. And I'm not going to show you with each of the other two to save time with this video, but I just repeated the process with each one of them. And now I'm just going to add the solar lights that came from Dollar Tree. And I put them outside to charge them up, and it started raining on me. So they did get a little wet, but I just dried them off and placed them in there. And I had to turn off all of my lights in order to get them to show up, but I absolutely love the cool tones from these solar lights. I am loving this. I'm also going to show you what my little vases look like with the LED fairy lights. And you can use fairy lights, the solar panels, or you can even put a candle in there. But I am loving it, and this just gives off such a warm glow. If you're lucky enough to find the little fairy lights at the Dollar Tree, you can get them there, or certain times of the year Walmart sells them, and I know Amazon sells them year round. And I love this. I think these are going to make an awesome addition to my Christmas decorations this year. And this is what they look like with the lights dimmed just a little bit. So comment down below and let me know which ones you prefer, the solar lights or the little fairy lights. For this project, we're going to be using the 3 letters that are about 8.5 inches tall. I can't remember the exact measurements, but they are about between 8 and 8.5 inches, and those came from Michael's. I'm going to be using the scrapbook paper in red and white from Hobby Lobby and Waverly's white chalk paint, and I'm going to start with just giving each of the letters one coat, let that dry, then I'm going to go back in and give it another coat because I want to make sure none of that brown cardboardy looking color is going to show through.
Thinking about what's happened to me from July up till now. Don't know where, don't know how. Lately I've come to realize that I can see it in your eyes. So it's true, I'm so glad you feel it too. Nothing to hide.
The inspiration for this piece was actually from a sign that I saw on QVC, and it was a showing by Valerie Parhill, and I am a huge fan of her stuff. Matter of fact, I have several of her pieces and I just absolutely love them. When I saw this, I was like, you know what, I can recreate that. And it was on sale. It was $32, something like that, and I'm like, I can absolutely make this for less. And for all 3 of the letters and the scrapbook paper was less than $10 because I had a coupon from Michael's for $10 off. So I think it's going to be an awesome make it for less. So I'm going to insert a picture at the end, and you're just going to have to let me know what you think. Tell me if I duplicated it or not.
In store for us. We're falling in love. Hey. Take. Walking around, you and me. Christmas time's got the best of me. Then it starts to snow in our heart. We both know that we're falling in love. To me it's perfectly clear, we're falling in love. It's true, this part of the
And I'm just applying a very generous layer of Mod Podge on this letter because I do not want my scrapbook paper coming up. And I love using scrapbook paper because it's so thick that you have very little wrinkling most of the time. And on these letters, I had absolutely no wrinkling. I was amazed. I just was so happy. If you don't have scrapbook paper, you can always use napkins. I've seen some of the napkins that's similar to this pattern at the Dollar Tree, or if you've got fabric or whatever you might want to use. And also, if red and white is not your thing, I mean, by all means, make it work for you. Whatever colors that you're going to decorate with, just make it work for you. Before you start to trim off or sand off your excess paper, just make sure that your letters are completely dry, or it might cause your paper to tear. And I started off by using sandpaper, and then I switched over to my beloved emery boards. Don't laugh at me, folks. I love a good emery board for sanding off the edges. But if you look here where I'm about to show you, it gives you such a clean, beautiful finish. And I just love them. I buy them by the packs from the Dollar Tree or from Walmart. And I use them so much in projects like this. If any of them gave me a problem, it was the O, and it was just trying to sand off the paper on the inside. Because whenever you are sanding off the excess paper, you want to sand away from your project. And I was trying really hard not to scuff up the inside of it. But as you can see, it also gives you, even on the O where it gave me the most problems, it was just a beautiful finish. If you want, you can just stop right here with this project, and it is just beautiful as it is. And I really was tempted to just leave it like that, but because I am duping it, I continued on, and I'm just using this pearl wrap adhesive that you get from Dollar Tree, and it has a shiny finish, so I needed it to be matte, so I'm just covering it with some white chalk paint. And then I'm going back and brushing on some of the antique wax from Waverly, and I'm going to wipe that off and just give it a really rustic, vintagey look. And then the fun part starts. It really wasn't a hard thing to do, but it does take a little while. And so my advice would be put on some good music. I think Hallmark is running Christmas in July movies all month. Put that on, or if you're like me, I have White Christmas and A Christmas Story DVR. So put something on and just sit back and have some fun and just take your time. But I am using a good bit of Mod Podge because I really want to make sure that these little stickers or little pearls stay in place.
Walking around, feeling free, thinking about what's happened to me from July up till now. Don't know where, don't know how. Lately I've come to realize that I can see it in your eyes, so it's true. I'm so glad you feel it too. Nothing to hide. something, this thing that we got grows stronger. Each day we're together. On the way, oh, we're falling in love. To me, it's perfectly clear. We're falling in love. It's through this part of the year we have something in store for us. We're falling in love. Hey. Take. Walking around, you and me.
I just wanted to take a moment and to say thank you so very much to all of my new subscribers and for the people that have been with me from the beginning. Thank you so much. I know that my channel is still really small and I am working hard to grow my channel and to give you the content that you would like to see, and I appreciate all of your patience with my bumps and bobbles along the way. I am working really hard to get better at what I'm doing, and if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see me do, please comment down below and let me know. I hope that you'll comment anyway, because it really does let YouTube know that people are interacting with my videos, and it will prompt them to recommend my videos to you guys more. And again, I just want to say thank you so much.
We're falling in love. We're falling in love. No, it's the time of the year when something's in store for us. 'Cause we're falling in love. That's right.
I'm just going back and adding an extra layer of Mod Podge all the way around each of the letters on the beads, because I just want to make sure that those are not going to come up. And I'm just brushing it with a mixture of the white chalk paint and a little bit of the antique wax. I wasn't going to distress my letters, but then I went back and took a real close look at the sign that I'm duplicating, and those letters were distressed. I said, well, if I'm going to do a complete job, I need to go in and distress them. So I'm just adding, like I said, just dry brushing on some of the white chalk paint and the antique wax mixed together, and then I'm just going back and wiping off the excess. You don't have to do this. Again, it's purely optional, but because I am trying to duplicate the sign, I went back in and just added a little bit of distressing. And this was the inspiration piece from QVC. Let me know, guys, did I come close? For this project, we're using 2 candlesticks that came from Hobby Lobby, and I got these for 90% off, so they ended up being $2.49 each. And because the color was just terrible, I took them out and gave them 4 to 5 coats of Rust-Oleum Ultra Matte, and I let them dry in between each coat, and it took that many to cover this stuff up. But I lost the footage somehow, guys, of my distressing them with the antique wax from Waverly. Sorry about that. And here I'm creating two 2 candle rings that's going to go around my candlesticks. And I'm using a garland that came from Michael's. And I got this on clearance as well for $5. And when I got it home, I realized why it was so cheap. Because the little branches just kept falling off. And I will show you how I hot glue them back on to make these really cute candlestick or candle rings. And the rings came from Dollar Tree. You can get 2 of those for $1. You just find them over there in your crafter's square. And I'm just using zip ties and going around and zip tying them on, and I'm just going to do it for both of them. And as you can see, it looks pretty and it looks fairly full after going back and adding in a few pieces that had fallen off and just hot gluing them, making sure they're going to stay on. I think this boxwood greenery is just so pretty, and I'm really happy that I have found a way to be able to use it, because it just did not work as a garland because it just kept falling apart. And they are so pretty and so green and so summery. Now we're going to make them look Christmassy. And we're going to start by adding these red berries that came from Hobby Lobby, and they're like $1.99 a branch. When I was there a couple of weeks ago, they did not have much to choose from, so I decided on these. And I thought that it would make my candle rings look more like a holly branch or a holly at Christmas time. If you have any other type of picks that you would like to add into it. I just didn't have enough left over from Amazon from last year. I had thought about using those like I used on my little candles, little frosted candles, but I didn't have enough, so I decided to just use these. And I'm really glad I did, because it really does make this look like holly. At least to me it does. Now I'm just going to use some of this greenery that came from Walmart, and I'm just going to use this as filler. Try and fill in some of those holes. And yes, I know it looks summery and springy, but we're going to go back and fix that in a minute. And this is what I mean by you can go in and kind of tone it down and make it look more wintry and Christmassy just by adding some white chalk paint to it. And I'm just dabbing it around over the yellow of the berries and then touching the tips of some of the leaves. And I think it just makes it such a pretty, looks like it's just been dusted lightly by snow. And I think this is just so pretty. I love how these turned out. I am getting very, very excited for Christmas, y'all. I can't wait until Christmas and to be able to use these items. I know it's 5 months away, but I'm excited. And I just love how it all looks together. It just complements each other so well. And I'm excited to see what it's going to look like with the rest of my Christmas decorations. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you'll take a moment and smash that subscribe button. And if you have any recommendations about what you'd like to see next, comment down below and let me know, and I'll see what I can do. And I thank you again for being here, and I will see you next time.